And I am giving thanks to the Hunab-Ku, the one and only giver of movement and measure, the great central sun and black hole at the epicenter of the omniverse, the maker and the modeler of all things physical and non-physical, heart of earth, heart of sky, heart of humanity, Hunab-Ku. I am here to do your work, and I thank you in advance for your continued energetic support. Greetings! I am Crispy, a Gaian, Mayan, Pleiadian emissary of light, and today I am very excited to bring to you information from Christine Day, the Pleiadian Ambassador, she has been called. This book, written in 2013, has many initiations, and I'm not going to read them, but I will tell you right off the bat that if you buy this book, you get a code to download the audio for all of these initiations, and there are many. I have done many of them, not all of them, and that may come through later in this video. This book as well has audio downloads, and it's listed in many places. You can find the audio file link here. So Christine Day is providing us with a huge amount of very high vibration information. And as you can see by my sticky notes, I'm going to share a tiny fraction of that with you. So let's get started from Pleiadian Principles for Living. One of the most interesting things about this book is that it brings through many examples of light language, code written. And of course, like I said, the audio samples are the same thing, basically, and she explains them very clearly for you in these books. I'll read some selections from the introduction from the Pleiadians. Now, I should mention, especially for those of you who are not familiar with Christine Day, that this book is written mostly in the first person, and then when she channels directly from the Pleiadians, she says very clearly, like this. So I'm now reading to you from the Pleiadians. Beloved ones, there is a great power birthing and rising in your world, opening for you a new perception that is taking you in a new direction. You are being gently guided from one world to another. And this book in 2013 came out long before people were talking about 5D Earth. And that's what just occurred to me. One world to another. The new Earth, the new 5D Earth is what I call it. Now, continuing. And this is your process of purpose for this lifetime, bringing you into alignment with truth, capital T. You are an integral part of the transformational experience now in this new dawning, capital N, capital D. It's a term that she has introduced in this book, used many times. With this clarity, you can begin to step forward into your own birthing process. And I love that image where we are giving birth to ourselves. Some of us are crowning. You see, you are to play a major role in the transformation on your planet. As you awaken, you will assist in a continual birthing process on your Earth plane, and I would say dimension, by holding energetic spaces, creating energetic grids, and helping anchor new light frequencies onto the Earth plane. When you say yes to your pre-agreements and take up your role, you are able to work with the Earth's energy. All right? A little bit more from the Pleiadians. Your world within planet Earth is moving back into alignment with the rest of the universe. You are part of this life force. So this process of rebirth especially involves a reuniting with self, capital S. I'm going to use the term higher self when I see capital S self in here, because that's what I believe it refers to, and I don't want to say capital S self over and over again. When we talk about higher self, it includes two parts of you: the divine aspect, which is the higher self, and the human aspect, which is the shadow ego and the ego. It's kind of like a trinity there. You are experiencing a transformation with the relationship to your human aspect. This is essential because the separation between divine and human that has existed for lifetimes within you must end so you can move forward into your enlightenment process and once more take your place within the collective consciousness. Now, my feeling on that is we have had a place within the collective consciousness. It's just been kind of a low place, grinding along in the lower three chakras in particular, whereas we are being offered to move up absolutely, definitely to the base level of the heart chakra with unconditional love, and then of course the upper three as well, and who knows what else lies beyond those. Anything else? Sure. The activation of your personal codes will link you into the new grid lines that have activated on your planet, allowing you to naturally flow and become a part of the multidimensional birthing of the new consciousness, a mutual birthing of consciousness. So a lot of birthing energy here. Oh, and by the way, today is Mother's Day, May 12th, and possibly equally important, maybe a smidge more, is today is called Kan Ahau, tone 4 of the 20th glyph Kan Ahau, which is the exact same day as December 21st, 2012. So the energy that is happening today is precisely the same energy coming from the Hunab-Ku, the great central sun and black hole at the epicenter of the omniverse, being relayed to us directly through our sun, which ended the 5,125 year-ish cycle called the long count of the Maya, which is actually from the Pleiadian star system. The Mayan calendar came from the Pleiades. The Maya call 5 of those long counts, and each one we say it's about 5,125 years, but it's actually exactly 1,872,000 days, which happens to be precisely 7,200 of these to the day. Now, here is today. These 4 dots. It is called Een 160 because it is the 160th day of the Tzolk'in, the count of days. This is a harmonic matrix of human DNA and the precession of the equinoxes, which the Maya call the Pleiadian cycle because it came from the Pleiades. Ha ha ha! So today has that energy coursing through it. We could say the Maya are the little babies of the Pleiadians. Isn't that interesting? The Pleiadians are the mother culture of the Maya, okay? Now, by the way, Christine, if you're watching, I would love to do your Mayan embodiment astrology. I couldn't find your birthday online, so I don't know your Mayan birthday. And, as I'm sure you know, the Mayan calendar is Pleiadian. Now, next, continuing along with the message from the Pleiadians in the introduction. Since 11/11/11, meaning 2011, November 11th, which happens to be tone 1 of the Jaguar Shaman, initiating Jaguar Shaman. So the Pleiadians, since 11/11/11, yourselves have begun to birth a new crystalline restructuring to enable you to hold the expanded energies of your higher self. All right, I don't know if you guys tuned in on that day and did any kind of ceremony. It was about 15 years ago now, so I did not at that time. I was not tuned in. I was tuned out, busy with other mundanities. Know that you are ready to receive these transformational codes. I believe that this is the transformational code that will assist everything else. Knowing your birthday on here, which is also here, the circular form. And if I do your reading, I will give you your empowerment circle, which I also playfully recreate for you like this. These are codes. Mayan embodiment is soul cartography. It is also called the destiny path. It may very well be what you came here to do. Your Mayan birthday is your Pleiadian code, your soul code for what you came to do before you were born. And now that you are born, reborn, rebirthing, we are rebirthing each other. I am here to help you with the rebirthing process. You're going to need to build this sacred alliance as the earth changes begin to accelerate. I believe this is part of what we could be calling climate change. Okay? We are going to need to be much closer aligned to Goddess Sophia Gaia and her changes in order to make it through this next, I'll just say 30 years, 2050. We want to ride on through this next 30-year process, 25 years. There's only one way to do that, in harmony with Goddess Sophia Gaia. And the Pleiadians will help. All right, your time has come for self-mastery. This is what you have come here to do. Open up your eyes. See your higher self. Show it to others. Open up your heart. Receive your higher self with love. Be received with love. All right, now a little bit from chapter 1 before I jump up to chapter 5. You hold the sacred design of your new dawning pattern within you. I still, every time I see pattern, I'm thinking this pattern, but that's because I have a little bit of a fixation. The new 4th and 5th dimensional energies that are birthing onto the planet allow you to take your next step in building a new relationship with your higher self. An important part of your learning process is to know and understand your human vulnerabilities so you can appreciate and support yourself on this journey. It is essential that you bring all parts of your higher self and align them with your human self. In order to do this, you must be able to love all aspects of your human self and embrace all parts of your vulnerability. This goes back to episode 4 and unconditional forgiveness, karmic contracts. All right. A big component of this shift, the Pleiadians say, the most important part, is the process of self-acceptance, in which you move into the practice of self-love. Again, unconditional forgiveness is unconditional love, is unconditional trust. All right. Oh, interesting. One quick point on page 20. I shared my meeting with Jesus in an earlier book. He said that I had put myself up on the cross, and I was the only one who could take me off. Now, one thing that's a little bit different that Christine Day does in both of these books is she brings in Yeshua and Maria, Mother Mary. And I think that's more inclusive of more people in general. So I really like the way she does that. A few of those other terms will come up and I'll mention them as we go. After your separation is healed, what next? When you have healed the third dimensional separation within you, you will have evolved into a stable alignment to the fourth and fifth dimensional realm. At times, you will need to revisit the third dimension to complete the healing within your humanness, and that is okay. As you evolve, you will consciously open to your ongoing learning process. No longer a victim, you will embrace whatever experiences come your way. One of the most important concepts to grok is that there are no victims. That whole concept is a false concept. There are no victims. It is not possible, no matter what the situation imaginable. There are no victims. By latching on to that victimhood stance, you diminish yourself into less than divine. And a lot of people look around and that's all they see is victims and vanquishers, the people torturing the victims. That's all they see around them, the victors and the victims. And both of those are illusions that have entangled the ego for millennia. All right, leaping forward to chapter 5. Harnessing the energy of the Earth's natural forces, sacred communion with nature. Now, Happy Mother's Day means Happy Goddess Sophia Gaia Day, the one true mother of all life on Earth. The Pleiadians are responsible for transmitting all the sacred shamanic rituals, teachings, and knowledge to all native people on the Earth plane many lifetimes ago. I have never seen that written anywhere else, and I absolutely love it. I'm going to read that sentence for you again. The Pleiadians are responsible for transmitting all the sacred shamanic rituals, teachings, and knowledge to all native people on the earth plane many lifetimes ago. So it's not just the Maya, it's shamanism is Pleiadian. All right. An important piece of your enlightenment process is to form a conscious reunion with all parts of nature. There is tremendous wisdom and healing held within the powerful and sacred energies of our Mother Earth and her elements. Of course, plants and animals. Your enlightenment process actually depends on you forming an energetic alliance with the natural forces. And this is a huge part of the Pleiadian message. We are not trying to escape this earth at all. We're not trying to get out of our bodies. We're trying to bring our higher self into this body. It's already there completely, but the incredible power of the ego, which has two aspects, the shadow ego and the ego. The incredible power of the shadow ego is so strong that it can block out awareness of the higher self. The higher self has been here all along. It's our soul. It's always been here. It is what we truly are. But the power of the shadow ego is so incredibly powerful that it can block our experience of our true divine sovereignty, our eternal soul. And that is very powerful indeed. But it's just a game. It's only temporary. Now, here's a section on page 62. The Pleiadians talk about aspects of your warrior self. A warrior is someone who has taken courage to do battle with the inner enemies in order to face the truth of themselves and their world. For myself, I do not use the word warrior. I use the word guardian, because you cannot take war out of the warrior. If a person calls themselves a warrior, that means they are at war with themselves and with anyone else who will engage in war. You cannot take war out of warrior. Elevate the terminology to guardian, as I will now do for the next segment. The 4 attributes of the guardian are harmony of spirit, honor of Mother Earth and the natural forces, humility towards your emotions, humor toward all of the drama of the shadow ego. Humor. I like it. The way of the spiritual guardian is the path of transformation. It's not easy, it's not quick, but it's real. To become a guardian means to be in your center. It is to be in your essence, which is your innocence. You live with trust and faith in the ultimate rightness and justice of the omniverse, even though what is happening might try to knock you off center in every possible way. To be a guardian means to not be negatively affected by anyone or anything, anywhere, anytime, in any way. Wow. Walking your talk as a guardian of the spirit is touching the world with beauty wherever you go. All right, moving up to Chapter 6, Aligning Your Mission, Fulfilling Your Destiny. The grand plan includes you working in alignment with the Galactic Council, the spiritual realms, the alien energies, and all life force groups throughout the universe. You have a part to play within this grand plan, and it is time for you to consciously take your place. Every human being on this earth plane, every human being on this earth plane, regardless of what they are doing or who they are, has made a pre-arrangement to be here at this time. It does not matter whether you are consciously awake or not. What matters is that you all said yes to being here and to realize that each one of us has an important part to play. Here the phrase just came to me, judge not unless you want to be judged. By being judgmental, you knock yourself off of your guardian status. You fall down. To judge anyone, you are beneath me, actually means you are saying, I am beneath divinity. Judging something outside of you, or even judging yourself, oh, I'm so bad, or whatever. Of course, self-judgment puts yourself down, off of the base level of divinity. Every human being is a holy hologram of Godshiousness. We are all divine sparks, sacred fractals, holy holograms of Godshiousness. As soon as you judge anyone and put them below, that's you putting yourself below, and then neither or no one is divine, sacred, or holy. So stop doing that. It's only the ego, the shadow ego, that does that. I feel I need to explain again, the term ego is a neutral term. It is not negative whatsoever. It is a natural part. It is like an app that you get when you turn on your smart body. You're born, you get an ego. It protects you. If you did not have an ego, you would have died probably within the first, I'll just say 3 months of life. Could be 6 weeks, could be 3 days. The ego protects the body. It feels pain and says, I'm hungry, or whatever. Or it stops the body from running out into traffic. After about age 4 at least, up to age 3, there's children causing themselves grievous bodily harm because they don't have the fully developed ego yet. The ego is here to protect your physical body, and that's all. The shadow ego, on the other hand, makes up stuff and creates illusory enemies, and it's the source of all of the naughty behavior on the planet. Moving on. Template energy. Anchoring your template is giving you access to your divine light, to which you could not align previously. Activating your template allows you to evolve to another level of consciousness of your higher self. It is you birthing you. And again, these chapters have activations which include light language, toning, mudras for your hands. It's all explained in here. I'm not going to do any of that. I do not have the right to do so. Chapter 7. Okay, I'm just moving on to chapter 8. Was about crop circles. A lot of incredible information about the crop circles. I am actually not going to share any of that right now. Going to chapter 9, the sacred matrix. And I need to remind you that the word matrix comes from mater or matter. Physical matter comes from mater, which means mother, the matrilineal aspect of physicality. The matrix means the mother grid of physical life. The sacred matrix. The Pleiadians have been strategically placing crop circles throughout the earth plane for a long period of time. With this new dawning era, the crop circles have come into their full role. Part of this role involves providing us with the sacred energies of the matrix. The Pleiadians have been creating crop circles. Thank you. Ooh, it's happening again. Yes, yes. Oh. All right, that's when cosmic truth comes through. Crispy don't lie. The Matrix has been specifically designed for you to have a series of direct, sacred experiences for you to know and understand the sacred aspects of your higher self within your unlimited experience of spirituality. The Matrix contains elements of what are called awakening codes that hold the energy of creation within them. The Matrix has the sole purpose of anchoring dimensional spaces and holding a series of awakening codes in holographic forms. Reality is a hologram that we are projecting. Unconditional love for the self is unconditional love for all of existence. I realized I had to get my head out of the way because when I do that, it focuses on my head, not my arms. All right. There's so much more in here that is truly incredible, including a wonderful Q&A section in Appendix A. There's all these questions relating to each of the chapters. So get this book. Now, Pleiadian Promise 2017. Okay? First thing I will read to you is the introduction from the Pleiadians. Beloved ones, we greet you. Our role at this time is to bring the activation of the promise energy to you on planet Earth. This promise energy initiates an important completion phase of your mission and enables you to move forward to complete our mission. Ooh. Wow, I like that. One aspect of the promise energy is designed to transmit initiations that will remove a series of veils, seals, and filters that have been placed within your physical structure, which have limited your access to your higher self-consciousness. These quote-unquote implants have been limiting your experience for many lifetimes to allow you to have a full-blown human spiritual experience. We will talk more about this later. Now, talking about the interaction of human and Pleiadian mission. We are here to help the Pleiadians. The Pleiadians are here to help us. They are us. We are them. Een Lak'esh alakin. I am Pleiadian. Here's another large pink highlighted section I should read for you. A big part of the grand design was to block your ability to perceive your spiritual aspect. This was achieved through a placing of a series of seals and filters within your physical body to maintain this separated state. That sounds like DNA alteration, does it not? Indeed it does. However, I'm here to tell you that what are being called, just have to back up a little bit, yes, what are being called implants are not physical. There are other implants that are, but the ones we are talking about are purely spiritual. They are not lodged in physically. They are psychological, spiritual, and emotional implants that we are removing as we go. Ooh. These seals and filters are implants that were designed to activate energetically at birth. That's one perspective. We'll just leave that for you to mull over. You came onto this planet with these implants in place to hold you in this limited state of illusion. They have played a successful role in keeping you separated from your higher consciousness, keeping you in a separated space from being able to experience the truth of your unlimited potential and your sacred connection to the God consciousness state of oneness. Many of you have been given inaccurate information about these implants within you. Some of you have drawn the wrong conclusions about them. Some of you feel as though the implants have been placed in order to control you and that you are a victim of them. This is not the truth. You are not a victim, and you have never been a victim. It is important that you open to the full understanding of the truth that you pre-agreed to have these implants in order for you to have the full experience of separation on the earth plane. And here, I'm going to bring in our friend Bashar again and his analogy of the rubber band. We have descended so far down into the physical. We're down so far that we're getting ready to let go of the pow. We had to go down as low as possible, and we have gone as low as possible. Trust me, you know I live in Hiroshima. I've been to Nagasaki many times. This is the same level of vibration as Auschwitz and all of the other war crimes and all of the other tortures, rapes, and murders humanity have done to each other for thousands of years. It's all the lowest, and we're done. We're good. That's enough. Thank you. I get it now. Yep. Okay. I understand. These implants, which are psychological, spiritual, and emotional, and not physical, have allowed you to have the full spectrum of the illusion of separation that is played out here within the human drama. This is why you came here to planet Earth, to have the human experience as full as possible with this illusion of separation. You have agreed to have this experience. It was crucial. It was vital. Go out, create, bring all things back to me. All experiences
not just the happy ones.
Okay? Your human aspect has allowed you to be totally immersed in the emotional drama that exists on this planet. And we're really bored of it now. All right, jumping ahead. This is Chapter 3, the collective group mind. Now, when I go through a book, I just, I really get into it. And I'm just sharing a smattering with you. Through the omnipresence of the collective group mind, our own pure spiritual self has had a permanent anchor, a place where we can play out the full potential role of our spiritual originality, where we exist as a unique aspect of the One. This is our spiritual home. Just want to make sure, this is Christine Day writing this herself. This is not the Pleiadians, although I do believe she is a Pleiadian channel. Now, this is a message to you from the collective group mind. So here she might be channeling the collective group mind, which, when we get into this book by Barbara Ann Clow, she channels so many different aspects or beings that I can't wait to do this book for you. That's might be my next one. I never know what's going to happen. It's so exciting. Here we go. There is a frequency. A message to you from the collective group mind. There is a frequency. Time frame change on your planet now as the veils are lifted. A path has been lit so that you can move forward and consciously rejoin us. We are here and you are here. We are joined in consciousness through the God connection. In this unfolding moment of truth, capital T, there will be the moment that you choose to consciously reconnect with the unconditional truth, for there is only one universal truth. I added the words unconditional and universal. There is only one moment in time that you have ever existed within. As we present to you the full frequency that is carried within, that which is sacred, you will begin to awaken and arise consciously into your place within the collective group mind. All right, moving on to a message from the galactic community. We are the one. You are the one. We support the unfolding of these new understandings in your time. We hold the studies of light within our hearts for you. Ooh, wow. We hold the studies of light within our hearts for you. Wow. We carry all that you need in the way of support for the building of your own community of light. We bring the knowledge of community to you through our own direct experience of the One. We bring the higher knowledge that has been anchored through our own communities for your individual process of unfolding within your own communities. Now, I do need to say that there are specific instructions in here for activations to be done with groups of 2 or more people. And again, there are activations and sound files to be downloaded. I believe there are mudras. Okay. So, an enormous resource is this book. Chapter 5, moving into new terrain. This path we have forged for ourselves has taken great courage, and we have pushed past the illusions of limitation and the attachments of the shadow ego to take our rightful place in sovereign divinity. Oh, look at this page. Lots of good stuff here. A key element on this journey of separation is suffering. Oh, the experience of suffering. It's an illusion, but it feels so real. Suffering arises through the deeply, sometimes hidden belief that we do not deserve the love. That's one of the reasons that suffering arises. It's basically any craving or aversion. Craving things we do not have, avoiding things that we do have. That is the source of all suffering. We often begin to take on the judgmental roles of others by condemning ourselves, creating an internal war that opens through us, creating a deep internal separation and suffering, I would say. Suffering is largely an aspect of this illusion, connected to the past and to those old belief systems held within the shadow ego. We can actually choose to let go of suffering at any moment. The shadow ego constantly needs to understand what is going on by assessing us and everything around us. The shadow ego is addicted to trying to understand and to stay in control. The shadow ego's need to understand actually stops us from letting go and just being in our experience fully. The shadow ego cannot experience the here and now. It automatically blocks what this divine earth suit is experiencing right now. The shadow ego blocks it with memories from the past, judgments of what's happening, and projections into the future. So cravings and aversions and memories and projections, that is how the shadow ego takes us out of the here and now. Letting go is an essential ingredient to self-liberation and leads us back to a self-loving state. We need to give ourselves permission to let go now. Be here now. Even the, I will say, strongest shadow ego occasionally comes into the here and now, usually with very strong physical sensations. Flavor, for example, and touch come to mind. Those are usually quite brief for the strongest shadow ego personalities, and they quickly get back to a distance and a separation created by judgment or, like I said, craving and aversion, and fantasy. The whole fantasy aspect is projecting into a false future that doesn't exist and putting that right here, right now. A person might be having a very intense physical experience, but closing their eyes and projecting a fantasy over it to separate themselves from the here and now. A lot of us do that, don't we? Those of us who are the way showers, now here's a little pet peeve of mine. I believe this word is one word. Way shower. It's one word, and it shouldn't be in quotes. It's not those of us who are way showers, it's those of us who are way showers, like will only exist in one reality, while others on the planet will still be playing out the illusion in another reality. This is often referred to or conjures up the split between 3D and 5D. I do believe this to be accurate. The vibrational state of each individual allows them to inhabit the dimension or density. There's some overlap between those terms. The 3D is the shadow ego realm. It is filled with drama and projection, cravings, aversions, suffering, victimhood, victors. All right? 5D means unconditional love, unconditional forgiveness, unconditional trust. It means living in the truth of your higher self. When you are in that vibration, nothing based in fear can affect you in any possible way. It won't even see you. Fear-based realities will not be able to find you if you are operating from your heart chakra. It's that simple. Again, it is essential that we do not try to fix these discrepancies within other people, but continue to allow each individual to play out their own reality to its completion. It is not important what anyone else does for you. You are important to you, and that is all. You are here to raise your vibration, and you will look around and see other people who have also done so. In the biggest picture, there is only one human soul, fractalized, but there is only one human soul. Each of us are that soul. That soul has fractalized, and in a holographic reality game is playing out every possible role. When we raise our vibrations, we no longer are interested in anything that happens down there, except to sort of just like cheer them on, like, you can do it, come on. It's that simple. It's not simple. It's that simple. It's very complex, but it's very simple. It's all about vibration. Okay, there's so much in here, just like all over the place. I want to read this whole book to you, but come on, you don't want that. Get it yourself. Here we go again with what I alluded to earlier. The Christ energy will enter a new energetic profile with those of us who are open to receiving the sacred Christ purpose in the form of his delivery light. That is such an interesting sentence. I'm going to read that again for you. The Christ energy will enter a new energetic profile with those of us who are open to receiving the sacred Christ purpose in the form of his delivery light. This specific light is held within a sacred ancient realm that has been woven through the Christ ministry from the timeless space. Wow. Maybe if I did all of these activations, I would understand that sentence I just read a little better. And here we go with Mother Mary, who plays a profound role for each of us as she radiates out the pure frequency of the Mother. Happy Mother Mary Day today and every day, my beloved soul sister and bro star. This new vibration of love will transform the energy of Earth through our holding this self-loving element. Love is the transforming element for humankind. Mother Mary holds the full reflections of the Sacred Heart energy in alignment with Christ. Between them, they carry aspects of the promise energy that is aligned through by the Pleiadian consciousness. I'm going to read that sentence again to you. Mother Mary holds the full reflections of the Sacred Heart energy in alignment with Christ. Between them, they carry aspects of the promise energy that is aligned through by the Pleiadian consciousness. Okay. I'm in. I'm just adding this element to it. When you tune into this, you are tuning into the Milky Way galaxy, the higher state of consciousness, Godciousness, which is Pleiadian, among other things. Jumping ahead to Chapter 6, Bridging the Gap. The Pleiadians say that enlightenment can only come through our self-acceptance. Yes, that means self-love, that means self-forgiveness, okay? Just add that to the other similar things we've already talked about, all right? It's true, it's real, it's valid. The Pleiadians say, quote, as a human being, we are perfectly imperfect. Oh, I love that. Wait a second. The Pleiadians say, quote, as a human being, we are perfectly imperfect. You see, the Pleiadians are humans. Humans are Pleiadians. Next sentence. There is no chance of us achieving perfection. Imperfection is a human condition. We have been created this way in order to have our full learning experience. Can you imagine if every human was perfect? Can you imagine how fucking boring that would be? Everyone was perfect? No flaws whatsoever on any single human being? Every single one of us was the gold medalist in every sport imaginable? Oh, every single one of us was the most beautiful human in existence. It's so dumb. So the illusion of perfection is something that the shadow ego loves. The shadow ego loves being a perfectionist and the polar opposite of just a complete dropout slob who fails at every project and refuses to try. Both of those are the shadow ego, the two ends of the pole of perfectionism. Drop it. Just accept that you are perfectly imperfect. And, hey, add to that, that's a Pleiadianism. Okay, here's some more about the shadow ego. I'm going to use my term every time I see the word ego or ego mind. I'm calling it the shadow ego. It's a higher level understanding for me. So I use it. A harshness exists within the shadow ego, which moves quickly into a state of judging. Yes, we've said that many times. It bears repeating. We hold judgments of our own past within us, and we create an unending cycle of self-condemnation. It does end, okay? The shadow ego can only source from that which has taken place in the past, With the past as its only reference point, the shadow ego perpetuates fear and negativity. The shadow ego continues an onslaught of criticism that we have grown up with, repeating negative messages that we received as a child, and not only a child. Right up till this very now moment, the shadow ego can take on any negative criticism that it receives from any movie, any book, any TV show, any quote on Facebook, or any SNS. The shadow ego latches on to negativity and judgment and fear-based statements and takes them as their own. Here's one we need to talk about. Gotta cross my legs for this. Now, there is a term that has been promulgated lately, and it's called
spiritual bypassing.
This is a bullshit term. Never, ever use it. When you see anyone use it, you know that it is the shadow ego latching on to a judgment and judging other people for spiritual bypassing. And what that means is they are judging themselves for that. They are trying to elevate themselves to be superior because actually they feel inferior. Don't use that term. In fact, use it playfully. You want to spiritually bypass the people who use the term spiritual bypassing. All right? So, spiritually bypass spiritual bypassing. You're welcome. The shadow ego has a need to be right. Did I just display that with the spiritual bypassing thing? Maybe. This need prevents spontaneity and any authentic interaction in many areas of life. I'm taking out the word many. This need to be right prevents spontaneity and any authentic interaction in all areas of life. So no, actually, when I just said to you, you can playfully, spiritually bypass spiritual bypassing. That was truth. Koyopa! The shadow ego has a misrepresentation of what our journey is about and will never understand what we have come to experience and achieve in this lifetime. It's totally true. The shadow ego is concerned with money. People who are overly concerned with money, and that's another thing. This whole fascination with manifestation with respect to money is pure shadow ego. We live in an abundant universe. There is no such thing as money. We created it. The shadow ego created it. It's actually reptilian in nature. Trade is great, and we can trade energetic services. I can trade you some vegetables I grew for some eggs that your chickens laid. Okay? Trade is wonderful. Even money, we can trade money. Or jewelry, or anything. Energy is energy. The concept of using money to represent energy can be quite useful. It's actually completely neutral. But when we get into the whole, first of all, lending and then interest. That's a scam. And when we get into compounding interest, and when we get into the fact that banks do not have the money they pretend they have whatsoever, it does not exist. Okay? Money does not exist. Cease your chasing of it. Manifest what you need to do what you need to do. That is all. This is an abundant universe. You are abundantly supported in all ways for every need you have. Claiming your sacred heritage. There is a pervasive and omnipotent consciousness that originates far beyond our earth and our resident universe. I call it consciousness. This pure consciousness filters through to each one of us within our resident universe. This source of light embodies the collective energy of a series of alternative universes that exist and make up what is called the God seat of power. And here is another of her terminologies that take it or leave it. The God seat of power. Okay, it's fine, sure. This all-encompassing source of light consciousness sits, because it's on a seat, at the very center of the creation element, within its own multidimensional structure, and embodies the purest frequencies of knowledge with a capital K. Okay, sure. Yeah, I can't say any of that is untrue. And like I said, when I complete all of these activations, maybe that sentence will have a higher degree of grokkiness for me. These universes, and I like that because they talk about universes. It confounds the shadow ego, which I think is why they keep using these terms. These universes play a major role in our enlightenment process. They hold the sacred on our behalf, and they anchor the full knowledge to enable an active platform to exist. Okay, good, awesome. Lots of underlines, lots of highlights. Skipping to page 141. It is important to establish a distinction between our sun, the sun in our sky, on planet Earth, and the central sun that exists within the universes. The sun on our planet supports an integration process within us as we awaken. It provides nourishment for us by carrying an aspect of dimensional light consciousness for the awakening of the physical cells in our body, and it holds the energetic imprint of this new dawning evolution on our planet. I believe that. I totally believe that. The sun's rays are working through the natural forces, bringing an expansion of consciousness. The energy held within these rays is realigning nature back to its original blueprint form, realigning nature back to its pristine state, otherwise known as heaven on earth. Our sun is playing an essential role by reopening the dimensional, energetic settings within nature. That means within our DNA. And reopening the creation energies within the Earth's core. So again, Earth and Sun That's what we are. You are. Every cell of your body is Gaia. The elements of your body are Gaian. Every single cell of your body. Every single cell of your body is only alive because of the Sun, our one true Father, Gaia, Goddess Sophia Gaia, our one true Mother. We are her. We are him. We are awakening. And we are Godciousness. Holy holograms, divine sparks, sacred fractals. It's completely true. It's happening again. I'm not even going to show you, but it feels so good. As we reestablish our sacred connection to the central sun, which I call the Hunabku, there is a destiny that opens between our sun on planet Earth and the central sun. Collectively, they are destined to bring a transformational frequency on our planet within the moment. Chapter 12, Unearthed. Great title. Yes, we have come to this planet to have a human experience. However, we can no longer operate from the limited mindset associated with being merely human. It is time to let go of this incorrect belief that our connection to humanity equates to where we originally were rooted. There is not one human being on this planet that originated from Earth. The truth is, we all have our origins with other life force groups within the collective universes. There is not one human being on this planet that originated from Earth. The truth is, we all have our origins with other life force groups within the collective universes. This limited thought process that we originated from Earth has restricted us in our evolution, but it was important for a long time. The rubber band has stretched all the way down for a very long time, and we're just about ready to let it go. Awesome. Man, did we ever choose the right time to be born, hey? Oh, this is awesome. What else? Okay, almost done. The current time frame in our evolution requires a focused intention on our own self-discovery as we move forward and mature. Through our direct experience of knowing that our origins are not from Earth, and they never have been, we will move forward.